my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
You know when you think you have everything figured out about someone's life, and then suddenly something hits you so hard that you can't believe your eyes? That's exactly what happened with Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre recently, and trust me, the whole story will leave you shocked. It's about a confrontation, one that came from something so private, so unexpected. Pregnancy texts. Yes, pregnancy texts. And the way Teyana found out about them, the moment she confronted Aaron, it's something straight out of a drama series. But let me take you back a little bit first so you understand the full picture. Teyana and Aaron have been through a lot together. Their relationship, full of ups and downs, has always been in the spotlight. When they announced the pregnancy, fans were beyond excited. It felt like a new chapter filled with hope and love. They shared pictures, cute moments, and the whole world watched them prepare for their baby with smiles and anticipation. It was like a dream come true. Yet, behind the scenes, things were not as perfect as they seemed. We had heard rumors here and there, whispers of tension, arguments, and secrets. But nothing concrete until now. Because the discovery of those texts changed everything. How Teyana came across them is a story in itself. It wasn't a casual glance or something she expected. No, it was something accidental but life-changing. Imagine this. You're scrolling through your phone, maybe looking for something else, and suddenly you stumble on messages that shake your world. For Teyana, those messages were pregnancy-related texts from Aaron that revealed things she never thought she'd hear from him. Texts that felt dismissive, secretive, or even disrespectful. It wasn't just one message, but a string of them that made it impossible for her to ignore. What made those texts even more shocking was the way Aaron seemed to talk about the pregnancy. It wasn't the loving, supportive language anyone would hope for. Instead, there were words and phrases that suggested doubt, frustration, or something worse. The contrast between the happy family pictures they posted and the coldness in those messages was jarring. It felt like two different realities clashing at once. Once Teyana realized what she had found, the emotions must have hit her hard. Hurt, betrayal, confusion, all wrapped into one moment. She couldn't just let it go. That's when she decided to confront Aaron. And from what we've heard, that confrontation was intense. Picture a heated conversation where years of trust suddenly feel like they're crumbling. Teyana's voice, probably trembling with a mix of anger and sadness, demanding answers from Aaron. She needed to know why he said those things, why he seemed to carry such a heavy, hidden resentment. On the other side, Aaron's reactions, defensive at first, then maybe regretful, trying to explain or maybe even denying some parts. The conversation was raw and real, the kind that makes you wonder if two people can come back from that. It's not just about words on a screen anymore. It's about trust broken and feelings deeply hurt. For fans who followed their journey, this was a shocking twist. How could something so private get exposed? And what did this mean for their future? The impact of that confrontation rippled far beyond just the two of them. Their relationship was now at a crossroads. Trust, once shaken, is never easy to rebuild. People began asking, can they move past this? Is their family still safe? Because when pregnancy and a child are involved, it's never just about the couple, it's about the future of a family. And as if that wasn't enough, the public and social media picked up on the tension quickly. Fans took sides, some standing firmly with Teyana, feeling the pain she must have gone through. Others tried to understand Aaron's side, wondering if there was more to the story that we don't know yet. Social media became a battleground of emotions, with cryptic posts, subtweets, and intense speculation. You might have seen some of it yourself. Posts that don't mention names but clearly hint at drama, stories that disappear quickly but leave everyone talking, and a flood of comments from people wanting the truth. The way these two handled their personal pain in the public eye added another layer of pressure. At the same time, the stakes are high. We're not just talking about a couple fighting. We're talking about their roles as parents, the emotional environment for their child, and how they choose to move forward. It's a delicate balance, and every move they make could change everything. The question now is, what comes next? Will they be able to talk through their issues and heal? Or is this the beginning of the end for them as a couple? There's also the possibility that they decide to keep their relationship private moving forward, away from the public's prying eyes. Whatever the outcome, this story is far from over. The layers of emotion, secrecy, and pain make it complicated, heartbreaking, and impossible to look away from. And that's why so many people are following every update, every little hint dropped online, hoping for answers or at least some closure. I want to know what you think. Imagine being in Teyana's shoes, discovering those texts. How would you react? What would you say in that confrontation? And what do you think Aaron should do now? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this story is only getting more intense. If you're as hooked on this story as I am, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for part 2 where we dive even deeper. We'll explore possible scenarios, what experts say about trust and healing in relationships, and what the future might hold for these two. When something as deeply personal as Teyana and Aaron's situation hits the spotlight, it doesn't just make headlines. It shakes the very foundation of their relationship. Trust, that fragile thread that holds two people together, gets tangled and frayed in ways that are hard to fix. And honestly, rebuilding trust isn't a quick or a neat process. Sometimes it never fully recovers. But beyond the drama and the emotional chaos, the real question looming over everyone's heads is, what happens next? How do two people who once vowed to share their lives navigate the fallout, especially when a child is involved? For Teyana and Aaron, the stakes couldn't be higher. Their child, innocent and unaware of the storms brewing around them, deserves a world filled with love and stability. Yet, how do two parents who might be struggling with betrayal and hurt come together to create that environment? It's one of the hardest balancing acts anyone can face. We've seen glimpses of this in other celebrity couples, some who manage to set aside their differences to co-parent effectively, putting their child's well-being above all else. Then there are those whose personal issues become so overwhelming that even basic communication feels impossible, turning co-parenting into a battlefield rather than a partnership. Behind the scenes, sources whisper that family and close friends have quietly stepped in to try and patch things up. These confidants often become the unsung heroes in moments like these, offering a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, or tough love when needed. It's a reminder that while the public eye can be merciless, a strong support system can sometimes be the glue that holds everything together. Still, no amount of outside help can replace what really matters: honest conversations, vulnerability, and a genuine desire to heal from the wounds that caused the rift in the first place. As all this unfolds, social media doesn't stay silent. Fans are divided. Some rally behind Teyana, applauding her for her strength and for standing up for herself in the face of adversity. They admire her resilience and demand that she be treated with the respect she deserves. On the flip side, there are those who feel sympathy for Aaron, hoping he'll get a fair shot at sharing his side of the story before the court of public opinion passes judgment. This mix of fierce loyalty, empathy, and judgment creates a charged atmosphere where every move they make is dissected and debated. At the end of the day, this isn't just celebrity gossip. It's about two real people trying to pick up the pieces of their lives while under a magnifying glass. How they move forward, separately or together, will define not just their relationship, but the kind of legacy they leave for their child. And in the middle of it all, the world watches, waits, and wonders what the next chapter will bring. Lately, Aaron's social media vibes have taken a noticeably different turn. Instead of his usual confident, carefree posts, there's been this undercurrent of reflection, like he's finally waking up to the fact that things between him and Teyana aren't exactly sunshine and roses. Fans who follow every move have picked up on the subtle clues: cryptic captions, quiet moments, and maybe a hint of regret. It's not official drama yet, but it feels like the calm before a storm, or maybe the calm before some real healing. You can almost hear the whispers online. Is Aaron about to come clean? Is this the beginning of a comeback story, or the unraveling of a once-perfect picture? Looking at the crossroads they're standing at, there are a few likely scenarios playing out. First, there's the hopeful route where they confront their issues head-on behind closed doors. They could actually use this rocky phase as a chance to rebuild their foundation, digging deep into those tough conversations about trust, communication, and what they really want from each other moving forward. Imagine them coming out stronger, more transparent, and even more in sync, turning pain into power. It's a classic for better or worse moment that could flip the narrative entirely. But let's keep it real. Sometimes love isn't enough to fix everything. There's the possibility that the wounds are just too raw and the damage too deep. In that case, they might decide to part ways, but in a way that's respectful and mindful, especially for their family. Co-parenting amicably while building separate lives is tough, but it's also an act of maturity and love in its own right. It's the silent kind of strength that doesn't make headlines but keeps everyone's well-being front and center. Then there's the third, messier option, staying together publicly but emotionally checking out. Maybe they keep the family image intact on the outside, but inside, they're drifting apart, protecting themselves from further pain while trying to maintain appearances. That scenario isn't pretty, but it's the reality for so many couples under the pressure of fame and public scrutiny. At the end of the day, this whole situation is a stark reminder of how complicated relationships really are, especially when they unfold in the glaring spotlight. It's so easy to judge or gossip from afar, but only those living it know the full story, the heartache, and the hope tangled up in every decision. Before we sign off, I want to hear from you. What do you think should happen next? How do you think Teyana and Aaron should handle these challenges? And what lessons do you think we can all learn about trust, honesty, and love in relationships? Drop your thoughts below. If this story had you hooked, smash that like button, subscribe for all the latest updates, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss the next twist in this saga. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon with more juicy news and real talk from your favorite celeb lives.